Hey folks, it's Zane, founder of Ships, and today we're going to do the devlog. It's going to be really short, really quick. Mostly today was a lot of thinking, conceptualizing about what are the issues around sales in terms of the NFT marketplace. So one of the things we wanted to do was do NFT to NFT swaps and kind of fiddle with the marketplace contract to see where that might take us. And so kind of settled on this data structure. So if we go back, so the original contract actually doesn't have any hooks into the contract standard. So I started importing that. And I'll probably end up doing a version update to 4.0 as the ships contract uses the 4.0 contracts, which I think are supposed to land pretty soon. So if we look here, we've got sale. Sale has a owner ID, approval ID, NFT contract, and this thing sales conditions. Sales conditions are essentially what you use to say what a sale should look like. So if we go here, sort of the thing that I've started to change and play around with is to say, instead of just having a single sales condition, why not have multiple sales conditions? And those different sales conditions can then aggregate into a complex story. So one of the things to look at is what is a sales condition? So a sales condition is one of two things. So one of those things can be fungible tokens that you accept, which is optional. And the other thing can be non-fungible tokens that you would accept in exchange. So in this case, what you would do is you could say like, oh, I want to, for my smart contract. So if we look at the function that sets up the sales, which is NFT approve. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I have both JavaScript and Rust in the same contract, in the same directory. So again, this is C Lion today. Actually, I think it's here. So if we look at NFT on approve, so when someone calls approve within the message, they set the sales conditions. You can see here that we will simply, more or less the plan is to iterate over the sales conditions, pick out the sales conditions that are fungible tokens, and then apply that into an aggregate. So you could say that I want to receive so much wrap die. I also want to receive a near knot, and then I want to receive a near bit or something like that. And so the question is like, how do we do that? And so the thing that we kind of settled on for the sales conditions, which I talked about earlier, is adding this NFT metadata filter structure. And so what it does is it allows you to optionally specify the token ID exactly you want, specify an exact receiver if you know one, or specify the actual token metadata. So this is pretty huge because with the token metadata, you can say like what the title is or what the reference or reference hash. And so right now, things that tend to be on chain right now have a lot of reference additions. So extra is a thing that you could pattern match against. That would probably be per marketplace. But what I'd like to do is develop a standard that's like EIP 712, in which there is an NFT metadata standard. And this NFT metadata standard will allow us to basically use JSON schema to figure out what are the contents of this extra data and then what can we like match against. So right now, this metadata can be anything. And so people just don't know like what is there, and it could vary from project to project. So it's an opportunity for us to just kind of come together as a community and set that agenda. But otherwise, we can look at things like this reference hash, which would be the metadata. And you can say if it has the same reference hash, anything with this hash is acceptable as, you know, as a token that can be used in exchange for the token that's on offer. Okay, so that's the general gist. The real sort of question that kind of remains is how do we do this from an interface perspective, in terms of representing and resolving that easily? Because right now, a lot of the metadata attributes are not really prevalent, and like this reference hash is available in code if you know what you're looking for, but it may be harder to say describe that this is the thing that you're looking for. So there will probably be some assumptions made about collections, about intent, and so I'm thinking that intent will be around the lines of saying that, for instance, anytime that you pick an NFT and you don't specify the token ID like directly, then you want to find something within a collection. And you don't care about the specifics. In that case, if that's the case, then what we can do is for the projects and the marketplaces that we understand how to handle, which could be like Paras, and for those that implement the spec properly, then we can say like, okay, the reference hash for this is going to be the same. The reference hash is the same. Then these all belong in the same edition. And then how do we resolve that? And so that becomes a little bit tricky in the sense that we may need to have our own indexer to allow people to search across available NFTs, or have integrations with each of the marketplaces to do that same sort of query. All right, so that's it for today. Other than that, I would say pop into the Discord. We have the devlogs there. We launched the token engineering sort of test DAO that's in stealth right now. And what else? A lot going on. Thanksgiving week, so it'll probably be a little bit of a short week. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Ah, how do I ever exit? Never.